ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यभागवत सेवया भागवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Hare Krishna. Welcome to this discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. We are right now discussing Canto 1, Chapter 17, Punishment and Reward of Kali. In our previous discussion on this topic, we completed up to Shloka number 20. We partially completed Shloka up to Shloka number 20, in which Dharma answers questions of Parishit Maharaj and then tells Parishit Maharaj to judge by itself what is the status. Now let us go to the Shloka and discuss further on this. अप्रत्यर्क्याद् अनिर्देश्याद् इति केशव अपि निश्चया अत्र अनुरूपं राजर्षे विमर्शा स्व मनीषया. There are also some thinkers who believe that no one can ascertain the cause of distress by argumentation, nor know it by imagination, nor express it by words. O sage amongst kings, judge for yourself by thinking over all this with your own intelligence. In this, we can see clearly that Bull is asking Parishit Maharaj to decide for himself. In Srila Prabhupada actually talks about a point that it is very difficult to understand the plan of Krishna. Why we need to understand plan of Krishna? Why we need to how difficult it is to understand plan of Krishna. He is the knower of all past, present, future, and nothing can be concealed from him. Srila Prabhupada is talking about Krishna here. The devotees know this truth and therefore they discharge their duties sincerely without being overly anxious for rewards. Besides that, one cannot estimate Lord's reactions either by speculation or by scholarships. If I deserve, if I deserve, Krishna will give. This does not happen. Devotees will think that Krishna has put me in the situation, so I will do all this is here. So this is the mindset of the bull. The bull thinks that it is put in that situation by will of Krishna, and I will not protest. On the other hand, I will try to uh, act according to the plan of Krishna. Out of curiosity, one may speculate that maybe Krishna wants to do this or Krishna wants to do that. Devotee's mentality is whatever comes, he will take it. So, bull and cow are taking it that way. They would not like to speculate Krishna's mind. Devotee will implement Krishna's plan. So that is apratarkyat anirdeshya, with the beyond power of reasoning, beyond power of thinking. This reasoning and argumentation or thinking is way below the Krishna's plan. Our thinking is very, very substandard. Therefore, Bhishma Dev, in his advice to Yudhishthir Maharaj, he says, Nahiyasya karichid rajan pumam veda vidikshitam yad vijnasa yayukta muhyanti kavayo apihi. O king, no one can know the plan of Lord Shri Krishna, even though great philosopher inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura and Srila Prabhupada are explaining in this current context what is Krishna's plan. Krishna's plan is to glorify Parikshit Maharaj. By orchestrating this incident of cow, bull, Kali, and Parikshit Maharaj meeting each other, uh, Krishna wants to glorify Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj came when Kali was tormenting bull and cow. Parikshit Maharaj has discussion with both cow and bull and figures out that Kali is creating problem, and therefore he immediately raises his sword to kill Kali. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada is writing here about Parikshit Maharaja. The conclusion is therefore that sufferings of representative of religion and representative of earth. Representative of religion is bull, representative of earth is cow, as present before Maharaj Parishit, were planned to prove that Maharaj Parishit was ideal executive heir because he knew well how to give protection to the cows, the earth, and the Brahmanas, the religious principles, the two pillars of spiritual advancement. Everyone is under the full control of Lord. He is quite correct in his action when he desires something to be done by someone irrespective of consideration of particular case. Maharaj Parishit was thus put to test for his greatness. Now let us see how he solves it by his sagacious mind. In Shloka 11.23.42, there is a very nice this is a very nice verse. Dvija uvacha नायं जनो मे सुखदुःखहेतो न देवतात्मा ग्रहकर्मकाला मनः परं कारणम् आमनन्ति संसारचक्रं परिवर्तयेत् यत्. The Brahmana said, these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress, neither are demigods my own body, the planets my past work or time. Rather, it is the mind alone that causes happiness and distress and perpetuate the rotation of material life. Ultimately, Krishna is the cause. That is the understanding of a devotee. Devotee will say that Krishna has orchestrated this, or he will say that this is the result of my own deeds. I deserve this treatment. That is why it is happening. I deserve this treatment because it is my mind which is causing this problem. And Krishna is supporting me to come out of this problem. That is how devotee thinks. Devotee never gets into shifting the blame or pointing out someone else for his suffering. He will eliminate all people and causes and come down to the point where he would blame himself because it is his own mind, and he simply will accept Krishna's plan. We see that Dharma is very nicely exemplifying the position. Let us go to next shloka. Suta uvacha evam dharme pravadati sa samradvija sattama samahitena manasa vikeda paryachastatam chastatam. Suta Goswami said, O best among the Brahmanas, the Emperor Parishit, thus hearing the personality of religion speak, was fully satisfied, and without mistake or regret, he gave his reply. Unless one is very well conversant with the laws of Supreme Personality of Godhead, one cannot give this kind of response, especially when one is overcome by distress and suffering. The immediate emotion that one may overcome is shifting the blame. He is the cause of suffering. We tend to say this in spite of removing the um, we generally tend to say that irrespective of not knowing things correctly, we try to shift the blame. But here we see the bull, in spite of all these three legs getting damaged, he was barely standing on one leg. He was having tremendous suffering, some tremendous amount of distress. Dharma did not point out the real cause of his suffering, did not point out that Kali is the cause of suffering. In this condition also, he is perfectly analyzing the principles of religion. This is confirming that he should be a personality of religion. This is the conclusion of Parikshit Maharaj. How could someone be philosophically inclined in midst of this type of suffering? When we are peacefully doing Shastric study, it is easy for us to philosophically analyze things in a very nice way, in a very systematic way. Philosophical stance in an ordinary situation is okay, but applying a philosophy in a situation when all the three legs are damaged, we understand that that bull is a hill, That bull is a elevated soul. That bull is Dharma. Someone who has substance and gravity to apply this type of philosophy can be a exalted person, and that is Dharma. Parishit Maharaj understood this, and that we see in his response. Raja Uvacha Dharmam Bravisi Dharmajna Dharmosi Vrasharupadrak Yad Adharma Krita Sthanam Suchok Kashapi Tadbhavet. King said, "O you who are in form of bull, you know the truth of religion. You are speaking according to principle that the destination intended for the perpetrator of religious acts is also intended for one who identifies the perpetrator. You are no other than the personality of religion. There is someone who has committed the sin, and there is someone who points out that he is the sinner. But both receive the same result. Dharma did not point out the mistake of Kali. If I point out this mistake, I will also be sinner. So Dharma, if he points out that Kali is creating this problem, then Dharma feels that he is also perpetrator of crime. A devotee's conclusion is that no one is directly responsible for being a benefactor of mischief monger without the sanction of Lord. Devotee mainly focuses on the root cause. Navayam klesha bijami. If you see shloka number Navayam klesha bijami. So the bull is saying, "Oh, greatest among human beings, it is very difficult to ascertain the particular miscreant who has caused our suffering because we are bewildered, not root cause of suffering. I don't know the root cause. Devotees is not overwhelmed by klesha, but he has guts to understand the Klesha bija, the root cause for the suffering. The root cause of klesha is Krishna. Dharma did not say klesha bija is Krishna. Devotee will generally say that Krishna has mercifully arranged this situation in my life. It would be worse. Because of Krishna's mercy, it is a in lesser in magnitude. So devotee is not blaming Krishna, but is gracefully appreciating seeing hand of Krishna in every circumstance of life, whether it is happiness or distress, is the most important habit of devotee or most important characteristic of devotee. Devotee's view is that no one is responsible for his happiness or distress in life. If somebody says he is perpetrator, devotees views that this person is simply an instrument in the hands of Krishna. The view devotee takes um, is to see hand of Krishna everywhere. Takes He takes this type of view because by calling someone as a perpetrator, the devotee will get sinful reaction. Because devotee identifies himself as a perpetrator, perpetrator also gets the sin. There are many, yeah. A devotee's conclusion is that, okay, now, therefore, he does not consider anyone to be directly responsible for such action. But in both the cases, he takes it for granted that either benefit or loss is God's sent, and thus it is His grace. In case of benefit, no one will deny that it is God's sent. But in case of loss or reverses, one becomes doubtful about how the Lord could be unkind to his devotee as to put him in great difficulty. How devotee handles this type of situation, it comes from the power of tolerance. The tolerance equips him to handle the situation. That person will be bestowed with the ability to tolerate, uh, ability to tolerate situation or reversals, because he sees Krishna's hand in it. If he's immediate responsible to response to reversal is to blame someone is not bestowed with the power of tolerance. Therefore, one important thing that devotee develops is the tolerance. The cow and bull never placed any complaint before king for being tortured by personality of Kali, although everyone lodges such complaint before the state authorities. The extraordinary behavior of the bull made king conclude that bull was certainly the personality of religion, for no one else could understand the finer intricacies of codes of religion. These are great lessons which Bhakti Vedanta purports teach us. Let us go to the next sloka. Atva Mayaya Nunam Gatir Agochara Chetaso Vachasaschapi Bhotanam Iti Nischayah. Thus, it is concluded that Lord's energies are inconceivable. No one can estimate them by mental speculation or by word jugglery. Lord's energies are inconceivable. Agochara means inconceivable. Or achintya. Achintya means which is also inconceivable. The purport is very beautiful for this. The question may be the entire purport is where question may be raised as to why a devotee should refrain from identifying an actor, although he knows definitely that Lord is the ultimate doer of everything. Knowing the ultimate doer, one should not pose himself as ignorant of the actual performer. Devotee's understanding is that Lord is the ultimate will, then why we should not point out? So Prabhupada is answering to answer this doubt. The reply is that Lord is also not directly responsible for everything he is done by his deputed Maya Shakti or material energy. The material energy is always provoking doubt about supreme authority of the Lord. The personality of religion knew perfectly well that nothing can take place without action of Supreme Lord, and still he was put into doubts by the deluding energy, and thus he refrained from mentioning the supreme cause. This doubtfulness was due to contamination of both Kali and the material energy. The whole atmosphere of age of Kali is magnified by the deluding energy, and the proportion of measurement is inexplicable. Lord's energy function in such a way that they create doubt or impression that I am not sinning, someone else is sinning. We see that Dharma is not mentioning the name of Supreme Lord as well. This is because of Maya and Kali. These two influences divert the attention of living entity from Supreme Lord. That is why people in Kali Yuga identify different people as God and do not recognize real God as God. They cannot understand that Krishna is the ultimate doer. Even if they know they cannot express it, that is all because of material energy and Kali. That is what Srila Prabhupada is writing here. Let's go to the next sloka. Tapasaucham daya satyam iti padah krite kritaha adharmam sais trayo bhagna smaya sanga madaistava. Dharma was standing on four legs: tapa, saucham, daya, and satya. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. Smaya sanga madais. Smaya means pride. Sanga, too much association with women. Mother, intoxication. By these three things, three legs are destroyed. This mercy, austerity, cleanliness are destroyed. Srila Prabhupada's purport is very nice here. Srila Prabhupada is writing, man cannot check all these evils simply by statutory acts and police vigilance, but he can cure the disease of mind by proper medicine, namely advocating the principles of Brahminical culture or principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. When form of pride, lust of women, and intoxicating are increasing, this cannot be controlled by vigilance or monitoring. Only a positive way of cultivating mercy, austerity, cleanliness can this be curtailed. How to counteract the pride, lust, and intoxication? By training people in Satyam Daya Tapas Saucham. When training Smaya Sangha Made will not be there. With this training, they will not be there. Then we can easily overcome the effects of Kali. There are many countermeasures like police protocols, patrols, checks taken by today's government to curtail all this. Better than these systems are to educate people in the area of Satyam Daya Tapas Saucham. Mm. The preaching of Bhagavatam principles will automatically render all men austere, clean both inside outside, merciful to suffering, and truthful in daily behavior. That is the way of correcting flaws of human society, which are prominently exhibited at present moment. Srila Prabhupada writes one more thing. If the leaders and rich men of society spend 50% of their accumulated wealth mercifully for the misled mass of people and educate them in God consciousness, the knowledge of Bhagavatam, certainly the age of Kali will be defeated in its attempt to entrap the conditioned souls. Let's go to the next shloka. इदानीं धर्मपादस्ते तथ्यं निर्वर्तयेद् यतः तं जिघ्रक्षति अधर्मोऽयम् अर्तेनैदिता कलिः. You are not standing on one leg only, which is your truthfulness, and you are somehow or other hobbling along. But quarrel personified Kali, flourishing by deceit, is also trying to destroy that leg. Dharma is standing on one leg. End of Kali, that also will be gone. Austerity is voluntarily accepting inconvenience. This may not be comfortable to the body, but this will be conducive for spiritual realization. For Samai purpose, we voluntarily accept some inconvenience. Cleanliness is of two types, namely internal and external. External cleanliness is for the body, internal cleanliness is for mind. Cleanliness of mind is achieved by glorifying the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada is explaining these qualities in the purport. In 12th canto, we can see there is a complete description of the age of Kali, and there's a description of the bull with all the four legs destroyed. Let us go to the next shloka. इयं च भूमिर्भगवता न्यासीतोरुबरा सती श्रीमद्भिस्तत्पद न्यासै सर्वतः कृत कौतुका. Let us read the next shloka also. शोचति अश्रुकला साध्वी दुर्भाग्येवो जिहिता सती अभ्रम्य नृप व्याजः शूद्र भोक्ष्यन्ति मामिति. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes, for now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower classmen. Let us read the translation of 26. The burden of earth was certainly diminished by personality of Godhead and by others as well, when he was present as an incarnation. All good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. See, the low class rulers are identified as powerful administrators. Okay. And Srila Prabhupada is writing here the Kshatriya, the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers, is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class men or men without ambition to protect the sufferers cannot be placed on the seat of the administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of a ruler by strength of popular votes, and instead of protecting the sufferer, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of citizen, and thus chaste mother earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. Both men and animals are children of God. Srila Prabhupada glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam very nicely in this purport. And in the absence of suitable king to curb religious tendencies, educating the people systematically in a teaching of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. The point is that people are to be educated in the principles of life as described and explained in scriptures. Of all scriptures, it is Srimad Bhagavatam which is prominent. Of all scriptures, of all scriptures, it is most prominent. By doing, um, by studying Srimad Bhagavatam, the lost legs of Dharma could be re-established. By spreading the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is trying to fight the activities of Kali and try to establish the Dharma with her and its four legs. Let us go to the next shloka, shloka number 28. Iti dharma mahim chaiva santyay yitva maharatah nishantam adade kaddam kalaye adharma etave. Maharaj Parishad, who could fight 1,000 enemies single-handedly, thus pacify the personality of religion. And then he took up his sharp sword to kill the personality of Kali, who is the cause of irreligion. Parishit Maharaj could fight with 1,000 people single-handedly. This means he's a Maharataha. You can see here, Maharataha. He took up the sword to kill Kali. But then what happens? In the age of Kali will certainly be full of all activities of Kali. But this does not mean that leaders of society, the executive heads, the learned and the intelligent men, above all, the devotees of the Lord, should sit down tightly and become callous to the reactions of Kali. In the rainy season, certainly there will be profuse rainfalls, but that does not mean that men should not take means to protect themselves from the rain. It is the duty of executive heads of state and others to take all necessary actions against the Kali or persons influenced by age of Kali. This analogy about rainy season and umbrella. In rainy season, to ensure that we do not get wet, if we get wet, we will become unwell. Therefore, people take umbrella at any cost. They take raincoat or avoid going out altogether. Kali Yuga will and dealing with Kali Yuga is also the same thing. Kali Yuga will come anyway. We cannot avoid it. It is according to the plan of Supreme Lord. This is like change of season within a year. However, we need not get affected by Kali. When we take precautions and be safe, then we don't have any influence of Kali. Srila Prabhupada is telling that executive heads need to take necessary steps to prevent the advantage or influence of Kali. Srila Prabhupada elaborates this in the next purport. Tam jigamsum abhipretya vihaya nripalanchanam tat padamulam sirasa samagad bhava vihapalaha. The personality of Kali understood that king was willing to kill him. He at once abandoned the dress of king and under pressure of fear completely surrendered to him, bowing his head. As soon as Parishit Maharaj took his sword, Kali Purusha understood Parishit Maharaj is ready to kill him. Kali immediately removed his dress and immediately surrendered unto lotus feet of Parishit Maharaj. For us, it is important to understand that Kshatriya will never surrender to his enemy. Kshatriya has to fight his enemy. He will kill the enemy or will be killed by the enemy. Since Kali was not Kshatriya, he immediately removed his kingly dress, fell at the feet of Parishit Maharaj. He did not have valor to fight with Parishit Maharaj. Real Kshatriyas never surrender. In Kali Yuga, people who are not Kshatriyas take up the role of Kshatriyas. When they are faced with strong opponent, they give up the Kshatriya attire and they just surrender. The Shudra mentality manifests more vividly in Kali Yuga. Let us go to next shloka. Patitam padayor viraha कृपया दीनवत्सला शरण्यो नाव दिक्षो श्लोक्यया Aha chedam asan iva. Maharaj Parikshit, who was qualified to accept surrender and worthy of being sung in history, did not kill the poor surrender and fallen Kali, but smiled compassionately, for he was kind to poor. Parikshit Maharaj, although he raised the sword but could not kill Kali, because Parikshit Maharaj did not want to kill someone who was surrendered unto him. If somebody falls at the feet of Parikshit Maharaj, he would give shelter. This is true Kshatriya spirit. Parikshit Maharaj could not kill Kali. Even an ordinary Kshatriya does not kill a surrendered person. And what to speak of Maharaj Parikshit, who was by nature compassionate and kind to poor. Therefore, what did Parikshit Maharaj do? Parikshit Maharaj smiled. Now, why is he smiling? This Kali, who was a Shudra by nature, dressed in the form of Kshatriya, gave up his artificial dust and just surrendered unto me. That is why he is smiling. Maharaj, he was smiling because artificially dressed Kali had disclosed his identity as a lower classman, and he was thinking how ironic it was that although no one was saved from his sharp sword when he desired to kill, poor lower class Kali was spared by his timely surrender. Maharaj Parikshit's glory and kindness are therefore sung in the history. He was a kind and compassionate emperor, full worthy of accepting surrender even from his enemy. Thus, the personality of Kali was saved by will of providence. Will of providence means will of Krishna. Parikshit Maharaj wanted to kill Kali. By Krishna's will, Parikshit Maharaj could not kill Kali. How? Because Kali surrendered. Surrendered souls should not be harmed. This is the reason Kali was spared against the will of Parikshit Maharaj. It was not Parikshit Maharaj's intent to forgive Kali or spare the life of Kali. Parikshit Maharaj was obliged because Kali surrendered to him. Kali's life was favored. At that same time, Parikshit Maharaj was intelligent enough to make Kali residenceless. He could not kill Kali by sword, but he ensured that that Kali cannot stay in his kingdom through his actions and through his actions of his subjects. By doing this, he made Kali practically homeless. So now it is interesting. We have now completed up to shloka number 30. Kali forsake his dress and surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj. So we saw Parikshit Maharaj chastises Kali. Parikshit Maharaj discusses the cause of suffering of cow and bull. And then we saw shloka number 28 to 30. Kali forsake his dress, surrendered to Parikshit Maharaj. We will dwell into other topics of this chapter in our next discussion. Thank you very much. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिंधु भैरव पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंद हरे 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 कृष्ण।